The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, February 24, reveal that Phyllis Summers will get accused of kidnapping Sharon Newman, while Lily Winters goes on an awkward date. First, let's talk about Damien Kane, since his persistence will pay off. Lily Winters will finally join Damien for that dinner he's been hoping for, so he'll turn on the charm. However, Lily already talked about being immune to Damien's tactics, so she'll keep her guard up. That won't stop Damien from flirting and putting Lily through a pop quiz about her romantic life, but she may remain cagey. Even so, Damien may get confirmation that Lily is single and consider that the green light to pursue her even harder. This dinner together will no doubt be a date in Damien's mind, even if Lily doesn't see it that way. Meanwhile, Nick Newman and Maria Copeland will grow worried when Sharon goes missing again. It hasn't been that long since Sharon was held captive, so it's easy to see why this would set off alarm bells. Sharon won't be in touch with her loved ones, so Nick and Maria will apparently voice concerns to Chance Chancellor. Chance will find Sharon's disappearance strange, since he's already investigating Phyllis' own vanishing act. Once Chance hints that there could be a link, Daniel Romalotti Jr. will seem skeptical. Nevertheless, Nick won't think it's a stretch to believe these cases are connected. After all, it's awfully odd for Phyllis to stop contacting everybody and disappear at the exact same time as Sharon. Of course, Sharon and Phyllis certainly don't get along, so Daniel will have a hard time believing they went somewhere together. That's when Maria will hint that Sharon might not have gone with Phyllis by choice. Maria may speculate that Phyllis wanted revenge, since Sharon was cleared of all charges, and that she went as far as snatching her enemy to get it. Daniel and Summer Newman may try to shut down any Phyllis kidnapper talk, but Maria will apparently think it's worth considering. We should point out that everyone in Genoa City still believes Ian Ward is deceased along with Jordan. Y and R fans know better since Ian was revealed to be alive as he made his ambulance exit. Even so, our predictions suggest that Phyllis and Sharon may have gotten tangled up in a different type of danger. Ian may not be involved for once, so we'll bring you updates on any wild news that's still to come. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Sharon may find redemption thanks to some heroic moves she's about to make. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Jolie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless spoilers preview video for the week of February 24 to 28 reveals that Sharon Newman will vanish next, while Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson trade confessions. For starters, there'll be a concerned meeting at Crimson Lights, where Daniel Romalotti Jr. will acknowledge that both Sharon and Phyllis Summers are missing. When Daniel wonders if Chance Chancellor thinks there's more to this, Nick will pipe up that it seems like a weird coincidence. There will be some suspicions about Sharon's vanishing act being linked to Phyllis, but it won't make much sense to Daniel. After Daniel questions why Sharon and Phyllis would go anywhere together since they hate each other, Maria Copeland will hint that maybe one of them didn't go willingly. Daniel and Summer Newman will probably be offended over Maria, implying that Phyllis might have kidnapped Sharon. At the same time, Summer and Daniel surely know their scheming mother well enough to know you can never take criminal activities off the table. That said, our predictions point to Sharon coming to Phyllis' rescue, or perhaps working as a team with her. No matter what jam Sharon and Phyllis have found themselves in, there will be a way out of it if they stick together. Meanwhile, Damien Kane will sit down to dinner with Lily Winters, so she'll use this opportunity to gather more intel. After Damien tells Lily about all his family drama, he'll point out he still knows very little about her. Damien will ask if Lily's involved with anyone romantically, so she'll scoff at that question. Although Lily will act annoyed by Damien's pursuit of her, he'll remain quite interested, perhaps for more reasons than one. Next, Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson will trade confessions as they share a private dinner of their own. It might be a somewhat romantic meal based on Y&R's weekly preview video, which shows Adam reflecting on how far they've come with a red rose between them. "Look at us, who thought that we would be here?" Adam asks in the promo clip. Chelsea replies with a "definitely not me" before giving Adam a tender look. It's possible this will be another one of Adam's dreams, but it's also possible he'll make some genuine progress with Chelsea. Adam and Chelsea may not fully cross back over into romantic territory just yet, but they'll make some admissions about the changes in their relationship and move in the right direction. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Chelsea and Adam will still have a lot to figure out, so stay tuned for updates on any big news about their love lives. The Young and the Restless scoop for Friday, February 21, reveals Summer Newman will lean on Kyle Abbott. Also coming up, Amy Lewis will learn why Damian Kane is so angry with her. Plus, Victor Newman has information about Damian for Lily Winters. L&R spoilers tease Damian will ask to speak to his mother alone. Nate Hastings will agree and make himself scarce. Once they're alone, Damian will ask his mother what she expects of him. "All I want is what I already asked for, your forgiveness," she'll reply. My&R Daily Scoop wasn't paying attention to what Amy needed. She'll add she hopes he and Nate could get to know each other, but he'll ask her to focus on her own needs. "I could tell you right now that I forgive you, but then what? I go back to Le." Damian will say, "I'm not buying it." He'll suspect that what she really wants is for him to stay with her until the end. "At least be honest, Mom." But Amy will say she'd never ask him to append his life for her. Then she'll ask what she did that was so wrong. "Because you let my father die, and now it feels like you've taken him from me all over again," he'll reply. He'll add that she was so cold and detached when he was dying. "Instead of being surrounded by love at the end, you were absent." So Amy will tell Damian they didn't have insurance, so she had to get a second job to pay the bills. "I wasn't shut off, I wasn't detached. I did everything I could to keep him alive as long as possible," she'll add. Damian will say he was so focused on his dad that he wasn't paying attention to what she was going through. "I'm sorry for that." Amy will say she's so sorry she wasn't there for him the way he needed her. They'll say he could have gone on without knowing some stranger was his father, but she'll say Jackson was there for everything. "You were his son." Amy will ask if he decides he can't take those last steps with her, "Can you tell me in person?" And he'll agree to it. Meanwhile, Victor will have information about Damien for Lily. The companies he owns were already established, he merely took them over. Lily will ask with what money. "That's the mystery," Victor will reply. He'll say the actual owner is Aristotle Dumas, a name associated with the Count of Monte Cristo. Young and the Restless scoop. Lily wonders why Damian was chosen. But Damian doesn't own the companies, he runs them for Aristotle Dumas. Obviously, the author of the Count of Monte Cristo has been a big influence on him. Victor will add that he's very successful. "Why would Dumas choose Damian?" she'll ask. Damian will end up running into Nate, and he'll blame him for causing all his problems. Nate will say Amy's a good woman who loves him very much. That has to count for something. And he'll encourage his half-brother to have another conversation with his mother. Finally, Claire Newman will tell Kyle she feels terrible about what her grandfather said. "I had no expectations whatsoever," he'll reply. "I know Victor." Kyle will say Victor's not going to intimidate him. However, her grandfather is relentless, and he'll scheme until he finds a way to push them apart. And eventually she'll get to the point where she'll say it isn't worth it. Claire will say she won't give up on them. "I am with you, Kyle, and if my grandfather can't let go of his decades-old hatred, then that's his problem." Then Summer will arrive and see Kyle at the counter. "My mom is missing," she'll tell him. "I'm really scared." She'll embrace him as Claire rolls her eyes. Kyle will say there could be a simple explanation and Summer will say yes, but she doesn't think so. Summer will join Kyle as he sits down with Claire. She'll ask how the dinner with Victor went. When Kyle says it went about how she'd expect, Summer will tell Claire their grandfather always gets what he wants. So if he doesn't want the two of you to be together, he's going to figure out a way to make that happen. As Summer leaves, she'll turn and throw a jealous glance back at them. The Young and the Restless recap for Friday, February 21, reveals that Summer Newman will run into Kyle Abbott's arms, so Claire Newman will fume over the exes hugging. At Crimson Lights, Claire will give Kyle some AirPods as a gift to apologize for Victor Newman's behavior. Kyle will worry that at some point, Claire's going to decide she's had enough and that their relationship isn't worth it. However, Claire already endured years of Jordan telling her what to do and how to feel. After Claire assures Kyle that she won't let Victor do the same thing, she'll promise she's not going anywhere. As Summer walks in, she'll send Phyllis Summers another concerned text. Summer will admit to Kyle that her mom's missing and fall into his arms for a comforting embrace. Based on Claire's expression, she definitely won't be pleased about the exes hugging. Kyle will hear about the whole Phyllis situation and urge Summer to stay optimistic since it could be nothing. Talk will eventually turn to Kyle and Claire's dinner with Victor and Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, so Summer will pick up on the fact that it didn't go well. Since Summer will assume this is Claire's first romantic relationship, she'll suggest it must suck having Victor as a grandpa, at least in this case. Of course, Summer won't be able to resist mentioning that Victor never had a problem with her own relationship with Kyle. Summer will make a prediction about Victor not stopping until he gets what he wants by tearing Claire and Kyle apart. However, Kyle and Claire will make it clear that they have no intention of letting Victor derail their happiness. At Nate Hastings' place, Damien Kane will request some time alone with Amy Lewis. That'll lead to Damien asking what Amy wants and expects from him. Amy will suggest she just wants forgiveness and the hope of Damien having his brother to lean on when she's gone. Damien will want to focus on the two of them for a moment and will suspect Amy really wants him to stay with her until the end of her life. Amy will eventually wonder what she did to anger Damien this much, so he'll blurt out that she let his father die. Damien will rant about Amy becoming cold and detached when they were so close to losing Jackson. Since Damien had to face all that alone, he'll resent Amy for going to work as usual. Amy will confess they didn't have insurance due to Jackson letting the policy lapse, so she picked up an extra job to try and pay the bills. Jackson also wanted them to be strong, so Amy will acknowledge that she would have fallen apart if she tried to be there for Damien back then. Although Damien won't be ready to move past everything that happened, especially now that he knows Jackson wasn't his biological father, he'll still grant Amy's request for a hug. At the Newman Ranch, Victor will give Lily updates on all his Damien research. Although Damien seemingly had a meteoric rise in the corporate world, Victor will admit the companies he owns were already established. Plus, Damien was only granted ownership on paper, since the real owner is someone named Aristotle Dumas, a mysterious man who keeps a low profile. Although Victor never met Aristotle, he'll admit he's heard of him. Lily will realize there's another link to the Count of Monte Cristo, since the author's name was Alexander Dumas. No matter what happens in the financial markets, Aristotle always seems to come out on top, which could point to some suspicious activity. Despite Victor's questions, Lily will be evasive about why she wanted Victor to look into Damien. At the GCAC, Damien will bump into Nate, who'll wonder how his conversation went with Amy. After Damien acknowledges that they said some things that needed to be said, Nate will give him a push toward forgiveness. Lily will pop up eventually, so Nate will realize that she's already met Damien. Once Nate heads home and checks on an emotional Amy, he'll assure her that Damien will come around. Next on Friday's I and R episode, Lily will quiz Damian about how things went with his mom, so he'll suggest she has to have dinner with him to find out. After Lily accepts the invitation, it'll bring a smile to Damian's face. Back with Victor, he'll mull over Aristotle Dumas and get Michael Baldwin on the phone since he'll have another job for him. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Michael may uncover some surprising Aristotle news soon enough, so stay tuned. The Young and the Restless preview for the week of February 24 reveals both Sharon Newman and Phyllis Summers will disappear. Also coming up, Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson will share a romantic dinner together, and Damien Kane will quiz Lily Winters. Y and R spoilers tease Lily will agree to have dinner with Damien once he tells her he paid his mother a visit, so they'll sit down for a meal together at the GCAC restaurant. I and R preview, Chelsea definitely didn't think they'd be there. Damien will point out that he's told her all about his family drama, but he still knows very little about her. He'll ask if she's involved with anyone. Romantically, Lily replies in the Y and R weekly preview, "Oh my God." Meanwhile, Adam and Chelsea will also sit down to dinner together. They'll enjoy a bottle of wine, and it looks like a romantic atmosphere as they have a meal in their new home. "Who thought that we would be here?" he'll ask her. "Definitely not me," Chelsea will reply. Finally, alarm bells will ring as Phyllis and Sharon's families realize they are both missing. Daniel Romalotti will ask Chance Chancellor if he thinks there could be more to this. He'll add that the two women hate each other. Young and the Restless preview, Mariah has a sinister take on it. "It seems like a weird coincidence," Nick Newman will say, and Summer Newman will agree. However, Maria Copeland will have an even more sinister take on the whole situation. "Unless one of them didn't go willingly," she'll say. But is Maria suggesting that Phyllis kidnapped Sharon? The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that the February 20 episode offered some interesting insight into future storylines. Lily Winters and Damien Kane shared more scenes together, and it's clear that he is quite smitten with his half-brother's cousin. After all, he was supposed to head back to Los Angeles, but he decided to stay in Genoa City, and Lily was the reason. In fact, Lily was also the reason he shocked both Nate Hastings and Amy Lewis with an unexpected visit at the close of Thursday's show. During his chat with Lily at Crimson earlier that day, he asked her out for dinner. However, Lily made it clear that she wasn't interested in entertaining that idea until he paid a visit to his mom. With that said, Lily was also introduced to Holden Novak and took the opportunity to poke fun at him and Damian for the shenanigans they tried to pull on Nate. There was a time when Nate and Y and R fans thought Holden was Damian, and while it was to gather intel, it was still a shady way to enter Genoa City. With that said, Holden didn't hold back when Lily threw that accusation in his face. He was quick to point out that pretending to be Damian was just as sketchy as Nate meeting with him to offer him a job, when he had another motive. The banter between the three at Crimson seemed to potentially foreshadow something. After all, Josh Griffith, Y and R's head writer, has been teasing that Lily is slated for a solid true love storyline in 2025. However, while some fans seem to think that this romantic interest could be Damian, will the show punk fans once again and have it be Holden? Damian looks like the kind of man who always gets what he wants, especially now that he's become both rich and powerful. He and Holden are obviously friends, if not business partners, or possibly have some sort of boss-employee dynamic. How sticky would things get if Lily and Holden shared sparks, and Damian was left out in the cold? It would certainly become a messy situation for Holden to either hold his feelings back for Lily or dive into them head first, but have to hide the entire thing from his friend. Damian has trust issues as it is, so things could get ugly. This could all change, but as it stands, Holden seems much more like Lily's type than Damian. Will Nate's new half-brother fall at his feet to impress Lily, only to get burned? Could he also try to stand in the way of a Lily-Holden romance? There are so many ways this storyline could go. Holden also seems to have a past with Audra Charles, but it's uncertain as to what kind of history they share. What viewers know so far is that he apparently saved her from a situation. Audra doesn't want anyone to know about their past, and Holden knew about Tucker McCall. Could they simply be past ex-colleagues, ex-lovers, potentially somehow connected through family? Only time will tell, but this too could become an obstacle in Lily and Holden's romance. The Young and the Restless spoilers suggest fans will remain on the edge of their seats with this Damien storyline, as more information is slowly revealed about him, how he built his empire, and what the deal is with Holden. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Phyllis Summers has gone missing. Daniel Rumalotti Jr. is right that Phyllis wouldn't play games so soon after the Heather Stevens saga. So it seems Phyllis really is missing. Could it be Ian Ward, who everyone thinks is dead? Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Sharon Newman's ordeal. Fans recently watched Sharon Newman give the performance of a lifetime with the PCP storyline. Now that Sharon has been cleared of murdering Heather, she is starting the process of forgiving herself. However, this story might not entirely be over yet. Sure, Jordan is dead, but Genoa City only thinks Ian is gone. Josh Griffith's hint. Back in December 2024, head writer and executive producer Josh Griffith previewed to TV insider Sharon's big story. Most of what was written at that time has aired, except for one little part. Sharon and Phyllis will be thrown into a life-or-death situation where they're both going to have to reevaluate their relationship. Sharon was in a life-or-death situation. While Phyllis was run off the road by that truck, it seems her life-or-death situation could be much bigger. Then, there is that part where the scribe calls it a life-or-death situation, meaning one situation and not two. So that indicates that Sharon and Phyllis' story isn't over yet. Plus, neither has reevaluated their relationship. Phyllis still hates Sharon as much as ever, so something else must be coming up. Phyllis Summers missing. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that in the Wednesday, February 19, 2025 episode, Daniel mentioned to Summer Newman that he couldn't reach Phyllis. Daniel was really worried about his mother, but Summer seemed to brush it off. That all changes on Thursday, February 20, 2025. In that episode, Daniel and Summer both panic and even try to get answers from Billy Abbott. It seems Phyllis has disappeared without a trace, which brings Chance Chancellor in on the case. Ian Ward's vengeful resurrection. During Ian's showdown with Victor Newman, he was pronounced dead. With the white sheet over his head, Nikki Newman said her final goodbye to the monster. However, fans know that in the ambulance, Ian opened his eyes. Even though the Newman family thinks Ian is dead, he is clearly alive somewhere. Could Ian have kidnapped Phyllis? Will it be up to Sharon to save Phyllis' life and finally earn redemption? The Young and the Restless spoilers. Damian's mysterious disappearance sparks turmoil and unexpected romance in Genoa. In a shocking twist that has sent ripples throughout Genoa, the disappearance of Damien has left family and friends reeling with worry and unanswered questions. Known for his unpredictable behavior and complex relationships, Damien's abrupt departure without a word of explanation has not only deepened the emotional chasm between him and his loved ones, but has also set off a chain reaction of events that may redefine several long-held relationships in this tightly knit community. For weeks, Amy and Nate have been plagued by concern over Damien's unexplained absence. Their anxiety has been palpable, each passing day filled with unanswered phone calls, unreturned messages, and a growing void where his presence once brought familiarity and comfort. Amy, in particular, has been haunted by the possibility that Damien's silence might be fueled by a hidden anger, perhaps even directed at her. The mere thought that her own actions might have driven him away has left her emotionally shattered, struggling to understand where things might have gone wrong between them. Yet, as the layers of this mystery begin to peel away, a surprising revelation emerges. Rather than harboring resentment toward Amy, Damian has been forging a connection that many would never have anticipated. It turns out that, instead of secluding himself, he secretly sought solace in the company of Lily. The two met under circumstances that hint at the blossoming of a new and unexpected romance. A romance that could mark the beginning of a transformative chapter in both of their lives. For those who have been following this dramatic narrative, the news of Damien and Lily's rendezvous comes as a breath of fresh air, a hint of light amidst the darkness of uncertainty. Fans of the unfolding drama are left to wonder, does this mean that even in the midst of familial discord and hidden sorrows, the heart can find a way to heal? Adding another twist to the tale, Daniel, ever the observer of the intricacies of human nature, has found himself increasingly drawn to Lily's enigmatic personality. Described as both resilient and refreshingly candid, Lily has captured Daniel's attention, prompting him to linger in Genoa with a newfound purpose, to win her heart. His decision to remain, despite the turbulent circumstances surrounding Damien's sudden absence, speaks volumes about the magnetic pull Lily exerts on those around her. In Genoa, where every relationship seems fraught with complications, Daniel's pursuit of Lily injects a note of hopeful possibility into a storyline that has otherwise been defined by sorrow and confusion. However, the fragile web of this burgeoning relationship soon faces an unexpected challenge. Amidst the soft murmur of excitement and the gentle flutter of new affection, Holden makes an abrupt and disruptive entrance. His arrival shatters the delicate ambience, his anger and pointed criticisms aimed directly at Damien, echoing through the space. Holden's words, laced with disapproval and frustration, serve as a stark reminder of the volatile undercurrents that have long characterized life in Genoa. Despite the tension his presence brings, it is a relief to note that the situation does not escalate into physical conflict, a testament, perhaps, to the underlying respect that even bitter adversaries manage to maintain under extraordinary circumstances. As the day wears on, both Nate and Amy find themselves sinking into a deeper despair. Their hearts are heavy with the weight of uncertainty, and every moment without clear news from Damien only intensifies their anguish. In a scene that epitomizes the raw and unpredictable nature of family bonds, a sudden knock at the door jolts them from their reverie. Nate, his heart pounding with a mixture of hope and trepidation, rushes to answer the call, only to find Damien standing there. His presence both comforts and confounds. In this emotionally charged reunion, Nate's initial instinct is to embrace his long-lost brother, to celebrate the tangible proof that Damien is, in fact, back. However, the reunion is not as straightforward as it seems. Instead of returning his brother's enthusiasm with an open heart, Damien cautiously refuses Nate's hug. His demeanor is conflicted, as though he is wrestling with an inner turmoil that even his loved ones cannot yet fully comprehend. Instead, Damien redirects his focus to Amy, gently inquiring about her well-being and slowly, almost reluctantly, beginning to unravel the secrets he has carried for so long. What follows is a moment of heartbreaking revelation. With each word that escapes his lips, the veil over Damien's mysterious past is lifted just a little more, exposing painful truths that had long been shrouded in silence. Amy, caught in the vortex of sorrow and disbelief, finds herself overwhelmed by the gravity of his confessions. Tears stream down her face as she listens to Damien recount the hardships of his early years, a childhood marred by neglect, hardship, and a series of events that left indelible scars on his soul. In this raw, unguarded moment, the true cost of silence becomes all too clear. The revelations not only explain the erratic behavior that has defined Damien's recent actions, but also illuminate the complex interplay of pain and love that continues to drive the dynamics of the family. For Amy, the day's events are a bittersweet amalgamation of relief and heartache. On one hand, she is grateful for Damian's return, a tangible sign that he is at least physically back in her life. On the other, the harsh truths he unveils about his tumultuous past shatter the illusion of normalcy she had clung to for so long. Every tear that falls is a testament to the sacrifices he endured, a silent chronicle of a childhood filled with adversity. Amy's grief is palpable. Yet within that grief lies an unspoken hope, the hope that by confronting the demons of the past, there might one day be a path toward healing and reconciliation. The unfolding events in Genoa serve as a microcosm of life's unpredictable nature. Damian's disappearance, his clandestine meeting with Lily, Daniel's budding romantic interest, and Holdham's disruptive intervention all weave together to form a tapestry of love, betrayal, and redemption. This dramatic series of events not only highlights the fragility of human relationships, but also underscores a timeless truth. In the midst of chaos and uncertainty, the possibility for love and transformation always lingers just beneath the surface. As the community of Genoa continues to grapple with these recent developments, many are left to ponder the future. Will Damian's newfound relationship with Lily blossom into something lasting and transformative, or will the ghosts of his past continue to cast a long shadow over his prospects for happiness? How will Amy and Nate rebuild their fragile trust, and can the family ever truly heal from the wounds that have been inflicted over so many years? And what role will Daniel, and even Holdham, play as these narratives continue to intertwine in unexpected ways? For now, the residents of Genoa can only wait and watch as each new day brings with it a fresh set of challenges, revelations, and perhaps the promise of reconciliation. In a world where the lines between love and enmity blur, every whispered secret and every shared tear holds the potential to change lives irrevocably. Amid the swirling emotions and unpredictable twists, one thing remains certain. The journey toward understanding and healing is as complex as it is deeply human. As this chapter of the Genoa saga draws to a close, the echoes of Damian's revelations linger in the hearts of those he touched. The hope is that, despite the darkness of past miseries, the light of truth will eventually lead to redemption. In the end, it is the human capacity for resilience, the ability to confront one's past and forge a new path, that offers the greatest promise for a brighter tomorrow. The young and the restless spoilers reveal that Kyle Abbott is falling hard for Claire Newman. But what about Summer Newman and the love they used to share? Who does Kyle truly belong with, Summer, Claire, or someone else? Kyle and Claire are happy for the most part, but Victor Newman's disapproval of their relationship could be their downfall. The show's also stirring up concerns about jealous Summer's sabotage, so that could be another big problem. However, Summer is mostly just an annoying interloper in this story so far. I and R's making Summer and Victor seem like villainous obstacles that Kyle and Claire need to overcome. With that in mind, it's possible that Claire and Kyle will conquer the challenges ahead of them. There may be some bleak moments and maybe even a temporary split, but there's a chance Kyle and Claire have become the couple to root for. That said, this storyline feels similar to one that played out in the past. Back when Kyle tried to convince himself he was meant to be with Lola Rosales, Lola was put on a perfect pedestal, while Summer was the problematic schemer. Kyle couldn't fight his true feelings and ultimately ended up back with Summer, since fate has a way of reuniting them over and over. Now that Summer and Kyle are co-parents to Harrison Abbott, they have another reason to get pulled back together. If history is any indication, then Kyle isn't done with Summer for good. Victor may be right about Summer always coming first, so perhaps that's a fact that Claire will have to accept down the road. This Claire, Kyle, and Summer love triangle is definitely going to heat up in the coming episodes. Do you think Kyle is meant to be with Claire, or should he reunite with Summer? Of course, if you aren't a fan of either pairing, Maybe you think Kyle should be paired up with someone else or even shipped off-screen. Regardless, Kyle's romantic life is taking center stage thanks to all the drama that's bubbling up, so stick with us for more predictions on what's in store for him. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Kyle may have to make some updates to his perspective along the way, so stay tuned for news on how that'll affect Claire and Summer. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, February 21, reveal that Summer Newman, Allison Lanier dive pays off. For starters, Summer should remain legitimately concerned about Phyllis Summers falling off the face of the earth. It's strange for Phyllis to just go radio silent like this, and it's even stranger for her to miss a family breakfast she arranged. Although Summer is truly worried, she can still use the situation to her advantage when it comes to Kyle. It looks like Summer will unload her concerns during a conversation with Kyle and Claire Newman at the coffee house. Summer might try to get Kyle's sympathy and enjoy having him comfort her in front of Claire. Whatever the case, talk will eventually turn to Victor and how he shut down Kyle's attempt to win him over. Summer may express doubt about Victor ever changing his mind and insist he'll make it his mission to make Kyle's life miserable. That could affect Claire as well, so Summer may offer a warning about the trouble ahead. At some point on Friday's I&R episode, Kyle will put Claire through a loyalty test. It's possible Kyle will bring up Victor's latest plot against the Abbotts and push Claire to find out more about her grandpa's plans. In the meantime, Victor will move forward with his deep dive on Damian Kane. Since Victor agreed to investigate Damian, he'll put his resources to good use and grant Lily's wish. Victor's investigation is sure to pay off one way or another. Either Victor will uncover plenty of Damian info, or he'll see signs of shadiness if Damian totally covered his tracks. Regardless, Lily may see an opportunity to get closer to Damian and manipulate him. Damian is clearly intrigued by Lily, so she can use his attraction to her advantage. Since Lily refused to have dinner and urged Damian to ask again once he made peace with Amy Lewis, it seems Damian will indeed make an effort to patch things up with his mom. Nate Hastings may suspect Damian's motives aren't sincere, since he'll work to guard Amy's heart on Friday's show. As for Lily, our predictions hint she may agree to Damian's second dinner attempt with an agenda of her own. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Lily and Damian have a messy romance ahead of them, so stay tuned for updates on any shocking news and flying sparks. It's the place to be for terrific Young and the Restless spoilers, predictions, news, and updates, so make us your go-to Y&R source. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Sharon Newman might play the hero for missing Phyllis Summers. Is a surprise rescue brewing that could change how Phyllis and her loved ones feel about Sharon. I&R fans know Phyllis shut down the idea that she could ever forgive Sharon for framing Daniel Romalotti Jr. Between Sharon dumping Heather Stevens' body in the river and setting Daniel up in the aftermath, it's just too much for Phyllis to get past. However, Sharon was on PCP at the time and obviously wasn't in her right mind. Ian Ward and Jordan are really the ones to blame when it comes to Heather's fate and Daniel's pain. Still, Sharon is holding out hope that she can somehow make amends for her part in all the drama. Maybe Sharon will have her chance now that Phyllis has suddenly gone missing. When viewers last saw Phyllis, she was waking up from a romantic dream that involved visiting Billy Abbott in Paris. It's possible Phyllis is off trying to make that dream a reality, but it seems weird for her to leap out of bed for a flight and skip the breakfast she planned with her kids. It's Billy and Sally Spectra's last night in Paris anyway, so that feels like a giant waste of time. Plus, it's not like Phyllis to go radio silent on Daniel and Summer Newman. Phyllis knows what she put her children through when she faked her demise, and more recently, Daniel and Summer had to worry due to Phyllis' car crash. It'd make more sense for Phyllis to send a cryptic text about some special project she's working on if she was off making her usual mischief. In other words, The fact that Phyllis isn't contacting her kids could point to her being in real trouble. It's worth mentioning that Ian is still alive based on what fans saw in the ambulance. Even so, Ray Wise talked about wrapping his run in an interview with Sode and admitted he still doesn't know what happened after that ambulance ride. That could mean Ian isn't tied to Phyllis' disappearance at all. Ian was seriously injured and would probably be focused on Sharon or Maria Copeland if he'd recovered enough to target people again. Bottom line, our predictions hint that Phyllis might be stuck in a risky situation, but it seems doubtful that Ian is involved. There are plenty of other paths to danger on a soap, so that's important to remember here. Lie and our preview info for 2025 pointed to Sharon and Phyllis reassessing their relationship after facing a life-threatening ordeal. Perhaps that means Sharon will come to Phyllis' rescue, no matter what type of mess she's gotten herself into. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the truth behind Phyllis' disappearance will be revealed soon, so stay tuned for updates on all the stunning news ahead.